good afternoon, good evening. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Guys, today's story comes out of New York. It is a little bit old, okay, June 8, 2022, but there's a reason why I pulled this up. But the title reads, New York banned body armor, but not the kind used by the Buffalo shooter. Okay, says here, a law intended to make shooters more vulnerable to police bullets would not prohibit the sale of plate armor, the governor confirmed, which is true. Guys, before we get into today's story, and I'm going to read it in its entirety, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Remember, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help. Okay, the only way we can get there is together. And you guys can feel free to hit me with a comment on Twitter, on Minds, and even on Truth Social. So, without further ado, let's start this article. And we'll start here where it says, on June 6, New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed into law a package of gun reforms that includes expanding the state's red flag law, raising the legal age to buy semi-automatic rifles and requiring a license and banning the sale of body armor to civilians. The legislation came 3 weeks after a teenager wearing body armor killed 10 people at a Buffalo supermarket. The body armor deflected a security guard's bullets and allowed the gunman to continue his rampage. Now, let's take a look at what happened there. This is what happened here according to NPR, okay? And it says here, an 18-year-old man stepped into a Buffalo grocery store. He had an AR-15 and he killed the security guard. Okay, that security guard did return fire and he lost his life, and he again went on to kill 10 more people. Now, the body armor ban from New York, would it have stopped this? In my opinion, no, because it wasn't even the body armor used that they banned. So let's get into that. It says here, but the new law doesn't prohibit the type of body armor worn by the gunman. Hochul's office confirmed to the Trace the words body armor don't even appear in the bill, even though it's been described as body armor by Hochul and state lawmakers in new releases. It says here, according to law enforcement, the 18-year-old gunman wore what's known as a plate carrier, a vest often made of ordinary fabric that holds hard armor plates designed to protect against rifle rounds. Guys, it doesn't just protect rifle rounds, it protects all sorts of rounds. I'm going to show you guys a picture, okay? If we look at the particular piece of cloth they're talking about, a plate carrier, this is most likely what they were referring to. Okay, in here you can place plates up to many different levels of protection. Okay, and I'm going to even show this to you. Look, if you look at these, okay, let's look up just plates for carrier. Okay, you got a whole bunch here. So even if we go to where it says here, let's say shopping, all right, from Google, all right, you can see a plethora of armor plates. You can see them in various also levels, level 2, level 3, level 4 plates. Okay, usually level 4 is for rifle rounds. Okay, so they make a variety. There are so many manufacturers out there that will make armor plates for your plate carrier, and you can accessorize your plate carrier in many different ways. If you look at this one that we go back to again, okay, you can see you can put extra mags here. You can put a radio. Okay, if we even in the plate carrier, the bottom half, you can put a med kit, a tourniquet. Look at this. You see all kinds of things. And while we are on the subject of this particular plate carrier and others, okay, let me play something for you that also I think they're going to start to go after. So if we look at something recent like the Philadelphia shooter, take a look at what they had to say when they caught him.
Suspect in custody after a mass shooting which left 4 people dead Monday night. Those victims are all men ranging from 20 to 59 years old. 2 children, a 2-year-old and 13-year-old, are injured but said to be in stable condition. Police say the gunman was heavily armed.
This male was wearing a bulletproof vest with multiple magazines in the vest. He also had a scanner and an AR-style rifle and a handgun underneath his body.
The motive right now is unclear. Police say the shooting spanned several blocks. They also arrested another person believed who fired back at the gunman during his rampage.
So after hearing that, okay, I'm glad to hear that there was a gunman who returned fire, who was there, a man who saw what happened and had to respond. So check this out. If we go down also here, it says here, Holstel's office confirmed that the ban does not expressly cover hard body armor and sent us a statement saying she would fully support additional measures to strengthen the laws further if passed by the legislature. Assembly member Sarah Clark, an upstate lawmaker, also conceded that the new law doesn't cover hard plates. So they made a law that could even prevent the particular criminal while he's wearing hard plates. Not that the criminal would even follow the law in the first place, right? She explained that because plate carriers can be made of bulletproof materials, the law would be an extension, capture scenarios like we saw with the Buffalo gunman. However, many plate carriers are made of materials like nylon and would not be banned. I think we all have to wait for the final regulations to come out to see how this is truly implemented. Clark added, okay, the law is so confusing that not even its chief sponsors seem to understand the gap in the measure. Assemblymember Jonathan Jacobson told the Trace he believed it covered hard armor. That's my understanding. Jacobson said that if the body armor ban is somehow interpreted to exclude hard body armor, we're coming back in January, so we'll amend it. So why pass the law in the first place? If it's not ready to prevent what you would like it to prevent, why pass it? Okay? This governor of New York, she needs to be run out of town. Okay? Look at this. Bo of the Fifth Column, a journalist and YouTube personality, was among the first to flag the confusing wording of the ban. Modern body armor isn't soft, it's a hard plate, he said in his recent video. Without a legislative fix, the law is a feel-good measure that is ultimately ineffective. So check this out. I'm going to play what he said a little bit. I'm not going to play the entirety, but here is the meat here, I think, about this law. Here, check this out.
So you've probably seen the headlines. New York has banned body armor. Did they, though? I mean, there's a bill here, and sure, it says a person is guilty of the unlawful purchase of a body vest when not being engaged or employed in an eligible profession. They knowingly purchase or take possession of a body vest as such item is defined in subdivision 2 of section 270.20. So what does that say? For the purposes of this section, a body vest means a bullet-resistant soft body armor providing as a minimum standard the level of protection known as Threat Level 1, which shall mean at least 7 layers of bullet-resistant material providing protection, and it goes on. But it doesn't matter because anybody who knows about this stuff started laughing at the word soft. Congratulations, New York. You banned Kevlar.
guys, and that is the sentiment that I have gotten, because it makes no sense to do what they have done. Okay, I cannot stand how people think they know so much about guns, always ask to ban certain things, and they know nothing about it. And this is proof. This is proof. They don't know anything about body armor. They have no idea that people can accessorize it and put all these different parts on their piece, on their kit, on their gear, and walk around and do whatever they need. There's even more things you could put on the back. Bolt cutters, flexi cuffs, these fire sticks that can burn through doorknobs and locks. So many things you can outfit your plate carrier with, but they don't know that because they haven't taken the time to research it. So check this out. If we continue, the ban wasn't devised in the aftermath of the Buffalo shooting. Jacobson first introduced a version of it in 2019, but it stalled. So he had a bill ready in the backup or somewhere in his archive, and then they pulled it out and tried to use it because of the situation, right? The legislative session ended 19 days after the Buffalo shooting, so the timing suggests the law was revived, but not necessarily tailored to the moment. That's evident in the state's definition of body vest, which hasn't been updated in years. Soft armor providing as a minimum standard the level of protection known as threat level 1, which shall mean at least 7 layers of bullet resistant material. What if you have 6? Body armor is tested and rated by its protection level. According to the Federal National Institute of Justice, the NIJ, threat level is rating that the NIJ hasn't used in over a decade. So you banned something that isn't even in really people don't use anymore. Most people do use plate carriers. Okay, there are some cases where we do let's say concealable body armor. Take a look at this. Okay, there is concealable body armor. You can wear this underneath a t-shirt, underneath a suit. And I know the Hyperline, this is very hyper, it says hyper concealable. Okay, I think it's fantastic. Okay, this is something everybody could get, but it isn't as affordable as we would like. These are around $500, another $1,000, another $500. You can get something like this. I think this is worth it. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you, this allows the average person to wear body armor, and I believe this is a good thing. Okay, I really do. If you don't want to actually actively use a gun, at least you can do something to protect yourself from it, right? And I think the article probably is going to highlight something like that, but let's keep going. It says here, past attempts to regulate body armor have zeroed in on hard armor. In 2019, Democrats in Congress introduced a bill that would have banned enhanced body armor, defined as a helmet or a shield, the ballistic resistance of which exceeds the ballistic performance of Type 3 armor. Now, guys, ballistic means ballistic resistance. Yes, that means it's somewhat bulletproof, right? We even have helmets. We have shields. Okay, take a look at this. I know I keep giving you guys some pictures, but let me just keep giving to you. Okay, take a look at this. This could be when I'm not sure 100%, but a ballistic helmet is something that you'd wear on top of your head, and then guess what? If a bullet comes there, it should stop it. That way, usually automatic headshot is usually a headshot is almost 100% fatal. Okay, but think about it. Somebody wouldn't be able to shoot you in the head and you'd necessarily die. You'd have protection, and then you'd have a plate carrier. Okay, this doesn't look like a plate carrier to me. This looks like more like a chest rig. Okay, but it comes in various sizes and various different designs, and I'm going to tell you, This, I believe, is all covered under the Second Amendment. I don't think you can just talk about just guns. I know it says arms, but you have things out there that can help you use your firearm. Meaning, if you get in a sustained gunfight, okay, defending yourself, which has happened, you have extra mags here, okay? Not only do you have extra mags here, let's say you're somewhere and you are navigating. You got this thing here, you can put your phone in there and flip it down so you can navigate easier. You can use your phone. You have medical here, where you put it underneath here in this flap. You have night vision goggles, okay? Trust me, there are a lot of things out there, a lot, okay? And I believe it goes hand in hand with the Second Amendment. I don't think you can just talk about guns and not talk about the rest of this, and that includes bulletproof vests, that includes plate armor, okay? So let's keep going. All right. It says here, Warren Eller, an associate professor at John Jay College at Criminal Justice in New York, says hard body armor has been the most prevalent type of body armor on the market for several years, and omitting it from New York's new law is a notable oversight. If that is in fact the case, that may be the dumbest thing I have ever heard. From the professor. It says here, plate armor is capable of taking multiple rounds, which is true. Eller said, which distinguishes it from soft vests. Some soft vests too, guys, especially the Safelite. It can take multiple rounds. Okay, the provision. Okay, it says here, so I think most people who do more than 15 minutes of research still stick with the steel hard plate. Robert Spitzer, a political science professor at the State University, New York, Carlin, said he was surprised to see that the ban and reform package. So maybe he knew about it, and then all of a sudden, oh, you just revised it? You gave it a 2.0? You gave it a facelift? The provision seems ambiguous as to whether it reflects the understanding that there are different types of armor or not. You guys, you see? Democrats don't know nothing about guns. Liberals, they don't know anything. Majority of them do not. Okay? This is why we are not comfortable with him writing laws. Okay? He wrote an email after reviewing the law. It may reflect the rapidity with which the provisions were drafted and passed. It seems like that it will still need to be revisited. Sellers of body armor we spoke with said they haven't received any guidance on the law, even though it takes effect in less than a month. Michael Cohn, the owner of New York Police Supply in Rochester, says he's spoken with Clark about the ban, but he isn't sure whether it covers body armor. I don't know what their intent was, he said of lawmakers. When we told him the state law defines a body vest as soft body armor, he said, I assumed the law was covering everything in their intent. Cohn said he found other flaws with the law. For one, it limits body armor sales to law enforcement and other professionals designated by the Department of State. Those professions haven't been named yet, unless that happens before the law takes effect next month. Now check this out, guys. It will temporarily exclude firefighters, emergency responders, campus security, private security, and armed guards. They're not law enforcement, but they all have body armor in that job. The Department of State is supposed to be writing a new set of guidelines to take all of the exemptions, but they haven't yet. Guys, what about the press when they go into certain zones and it's a little dangerous and they're wearing armor? They didn't even stop to think about this. Okay, Clark told us, if I keep reading, the Department of State Division of Criminal Justice Services and other applicable state agencies will develop the rules and regulations for eligible for professions to carry armor. You see, so now they got to go back and make sure that they outline all the people who they deem necessary can have it. It says violence interpreters will also be excluded from the law unless changes changes are made, as will journalists. Oh, the Deadline Club, the New York City chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists, urged Holschel to veto the ban, saying it could seriously hamper news gathering at active crime scenes and sites of civil unrest. So the journalists, the press, are telling New York, ma'am, don't do this. This could make our lives even that much more dangerous. New York. Brad Peddle, a managing partner at 221B Tactical in Midtown Manhattan, is also uncertain about what the ban does and doesn't cover. We're all trying in this moment to figure out what this means consequentially to all of us and what we can and cannot sell. He said, I don't know the answer to that yet. Look at the confusion they've brought here. Peddle says the new ban currently exempts some of the biggest clients, including transit workers, who have been attacked by members of the public. One client, a bus driver. This is so true. Metro, oh man, it's a disaster. One client, a bus driver, told Peddle that one of the colleagues was stabbed on the job just this week. That's why these people are worried. They want protective gear, Peddle said, and now you're going to take away their right. This is horrible. Why would New York do this? Now, I know some of you may be asking the obvious question. Bossman, this was in 2022. Do you got an update? Yes. Let's go take a look. Okay. And I pulled this from an attorneys at law. Okay. It says here, Pappalardo. I can't even pronounce that. Okay. But they have the statute and the law here. Check this out. Okay. So it says here, professions. And this was, guys, and just so you know, this was published the 28th of this year, 2023. Okay. So as of 2023 of February, this is what the law states. It says here, professions authorized to wear body armor. Under the law, certain professions may purchase and wear bulletproof vests for using during these jobs. These professions are designed to the Department of State in accordance with the Executive Law 144A. So far, persons who are permitted to wear such vests for their jobs includes police officers, persons in military, armored cars, security guards, firefighters, emergency medical technicians, so EMTs, the drivers, the attendants, the firearm dealers, private investigators, building safety, firearm instructors, professional journalists, nuclear security officers, process servers. Does it mention jewelers here? Did they forget to leave out the jewelers? Say it ain't so. It says here, professional dealings with installation, service, or maintenance, animal control officers, federal firearm license dealers, range safety officers. So they didn't even include the people who deal with jewelry, people who deal with antiques, expensive art. They didn't include them. You see why this is just nonsense. It's just complete nonsense for them to do this. Guys, you know my stance, and I will tell you, this is a terrible law. Okay? All types of people should be able to carry or use or buy body armor. You cannot talk about the Second Amendment if you do not include these things. These are complements to shooting. These are complements, meaning other tools while shooting that can either supply you with more ammo, can provide you immediate medical, can provide you immediate communications, can provide you immediate logistics and things people to know about your whereabouts, even things where you can see in the dark. And this is the reason why I pulled up this picture. You cannot talk about the Second Amendment if you don't talk about everything here. I know that sounds controversial, or you can say Hey, boss man, we don't need night vision. Of course you do. Okay, so let me leave that there, guys. Tell me what you think. Do we really need body armor? In my opinion, we do. I believe all people do. It's something that is, we live in the United States because we have access to a great deal of things. The minute that you start banning everything, banning certain things just because a few people get out of whack, who would want to live here? Anyway, you guys know my thing. Good people carry guns. Okay? Good people should always have guns. Good people should always have body armor. Good people should always have accessories to complement their shooting. Okay? It is necessity, I believe. Because the only thing for evil to persist is if good men do nothing. And if good men do nothing, there will be no good guys.